Hi friends, so I think it's very important to remember that most often there is more than one way to get to a move or a goal. And today, that move or those moves are going to be Jasmine and outside leg hang. And bonus, you don't need to invert to use any of these variations. So for anybody who's working up to inverting still, or who maybe just is not feeling inverts, you don't need it. And before we get into it, I just want to remind you that this whole tutorial is taken straight from my Patreon. So if you're interested in learning more from me, you can become a student there and you'll get access to over 100 tutorials and recorded live workshops. So today we're going to talk about 4 ways to find your way into an outside leg hang and Jasmine in parentheses without having to invert. So let's talk about that title first because I don't want to confuse you guys. So Jasmine is a very common transition to enter into outside leg hang. So pretty much every way that we discussed today, all of these transitions are going to involve walking our way through a Jasmine as we approach our outside leg hang. So all of that is to say, you can use any of these transitions to enter a Jasmine, and you can use any of these transitions to enter an outside leg hang. And the best part is that you can do all of them without actually having to do a traditional invert. Yeah? Okay, we're gonna start with the easiest of them and we'll work our way up the levels. We'll end up at about an intermediate level today. I'll give you guys a little bit of a challenge at the end of this. So transition number 1, we're gonna go from the floor and we're gonna enter as we would enter a Jasmine. So we'll find our way into a Jasmine, standing next to the base of the pole, lifting the inside leg and hooking as high as possible. Now, because we're going to be heading into an outside leg hang here, I really encourage you to try to hook that knee as high as possible, okay? So that we don't bring our noggin to the floor. We're going to extend this outside hand down, bringing this bottom leg behind the pole. And voila, we found our way into our Jasmine. Now we're going to begin heading to our outside leg hang. So we're going to walk this outside or our bottom arm just below our top knee. And we're going to start to allow our chest to fall. As we do that, this hip bone is going to go from in front of the pole to behind the pole. Yeah? Once you feel that, once your hip bone slides behind the pole, you'll start to get some tummy or some side grip, which is great. That's exactly what we want. We'll then be safe to take our top hand off, continue squeezing the heel towards the butt to maintain your knee grip, allow your torso to lean down. And right here, you're going to find some contact at the back of this armpit or shoulder. You can release that inside hand and extend the arm to the back, press your inside leg to the back, and you're in your outside leg hang. To come out, walk your inside hand up below the knee, outside hand up above the knee, and you can simply push your inside foot or your outside foot, excuse me, to the floor.
Now, if you are working on your outside leg hang and for some reason you end up feeling not so secure, here's your bailout. So as you can see, I'm taking this inside leg, the leg that's extended to the back, and I'm gonna just tuck it in, pulling it in towards the pole so that my thighs are now wrapped around the pole. Once I've got contact with both thighs on the pole, my knees are tucked, I'll be really secure, I'll be safe, and I'll be able to slowly and safely descend to the floor.
All right, on to transition number 2. So we're gonna enter the same way as if we would be heading into our Jasmine, feet next to the base of the pole, leaning to the side. And again, we wanna hook as high as possible. So actually coming up onto those tippy toes, especially for this next one, will be very helpful. As we hook this inside leg, we're gonna come now into a Genie. So we're placing this bottom hand on the pole in a cup grip so that we can push into the pole. That's going to allow us to lift this outside leg up, bringing it to the front of the pole and get a nice solid knee hook. You can walk both hands down to meet me in your Genie. When you are ready to go into your outside leg hang, we're gonna walk our top hand back up. And again, we're using this cup grip to push into the pole as we extend our bottom leg. Again, pushing through the bottom hand, that's gonna allow us to bring this bottom leg behind the pole, bringing the top of the thigh to the pole. You can slide the bottom hand down in a martini grip, and here we are again in our Jasmine. From here, the transition will be exactly the same as the one we just discussed. We're walking the bottom hand up below the knee, allowing the hip bone to slide past the pole, release the top hand, allowing the torso to fold back,
We'll find this contact point at the back of the shoulder. We can extend the arm back, squeezing the armpit around the pole and pressing this inside leg to the back for our outside leg hang. Climbing it up, inside hand below the knee, outside hand above the knee, pushing through the bottom hand to bring that foot back to the floor. All right, on to transition number 3. Now, just a little bit of discussion on the floor first. So this one, we're going to be descending into our Jasmine and our outside leg hang from a climb or lowering into it. So once we get up there, we're going to be utilizing a push-pull grip or a forearm push-pull grip. We'll have one forearm pressing into the pole and the other arm extended up. That's going to allow us to move our hips away from the pole so that we can then hook an inside knee and progress with the transition. Now I'm discussing this down here because I just want to let you know that it doesn't matter which forearm you've got pressed into the pole and which hand you have up high. You can have your inside forearm pressed into the pole, outside arm extended up high, or you could have it switched, outside forearm pressed into the pole, inside arm extended up high. Both will get you to the same place, okay? So meet me up there. We're gonna take a climb or two up and then we'll progress through the transition. So from here, we're ready to go into our descent. So we're gonna send one arm up in a regular grip, thumb up. Other arm is coming down in our forearm grip, pushing through the forearm, pulling through our top hand. To release the knees from the pole, crossing your inside leg through the window into the front of the pole, hooking that knee pit to the pole. My outside leg is staying right here, shin pressing into the pole. I'm gonna start to slide down, and as I do that, the pole is gonna start to slide up this thigh. Yeah, continue walking the hands down or sliding them down until they're right above that top knee. Once our hands are right above our top knee, we can walk our outside hand down below the knee, and then we can either continue to slide that hand down into a martini to find our way into a Jasmine, or we can stay here and progress into our outside leg hang, allowing the hip bone to slide past the pole, releasing the top hand, folding the torso back. Contact point at the back of the shoulder is now here. We can release that inside hand, extending the arm to the back, press this inside leg to the back, engaging the glute to press this inside hip into the pole, and voila, we're here. Inside hand climbs it up below the knee, outside hand climbs it up above the knee, and we're pushing through the bottom hand to come out. And finally, transition number 4, this is going to be definitely the most challenging of the 4. You have to be very comfortable with your Jamilla pose or your Jamilla shape in order to do this transition. Okay, so meet me in our Jamilla. So from your Jamilla, you want to really slide this bottom hand down, allowing your weight to fall into the bottom arm and into this bottom thigh. That's going to allow you to take your top hand off of the pole for a second and get knee pit contact with this top leg on the pole for you to hook. You can climb your outside hand back up above, and we are magically in our Jasmine already. From here, same thing as we've discussed previously, you can walk your bottom hand up below the top knee, slide the hip bone past the pole. You can allow your top hand to come off, lowering the torso to the back, extending the inside arm, squeezing the armpit around the pole for your outside leg hang. And walk it up inside below the knee, outside above the knee. Push through the bottom hand to bring the foot to the floor.